There is a small town in anywhere in America, and it's everything you've seen on TV and in the movies when you picture any town USA. Think white picket fences, think all the families have a pet, 2.5 kids for everyone. And in this small town of about 2,000 residents, there is one church and one business. Everybody in the town attends the church, and everybody in the town works at the one company in the city. And so the CEO of the company and the pastor of the church are sitting at a bar one day, and they're in a heated discussion. They are debating who has more influence inside the city. The CEO looks to the pastor and he says, "Don't you understand? These people rely on me for their well-being. I've got great influence in this town." The pastor looks over and he says, "But they share with me all of their hurts and their triumphs. They look to me for all of the answers to life's questions." Now, this goes back and forth for a little while. CEO to pastor, pastor to CEO. Then one moment the pastor says, "Okay, let's do a little experiment then." The CEO says, "Okay, cool." CEO says, "Actually, I've got a better idea." Pastor says, "I'm game, what do you have?" The CEO says, "You tell everybody to be at church on Sunday, and I'll tell everybody to be at work on that same Sunday, and we'll see which building gets filled up faster." The pastor could only smile and finish his drink, knowing that he had lost this debate. There was no way he was going to get his building filled up faster than the building of the CEO. How many of you recognize that the building of the CEO would get filled faster than the church ever could? Now, this could be because of people needing to get paid. It could be because of a dedication to the company. It could be because our jobs are where we find our identities. Or it could just be fear. Fear of being fired, fear of being reprimanded, something like that. But I tell this story for a couple of reasons. I've told it about 100 times, and I'm sure I'll tell it 100 more. But this simple illustration gives us a view into just how much influence business has over our lives. Business has more influence than just about anything else in our society. Now, as a business consultant, I work with businesses all the time, and I get to see this on a microscopic level. And I've seen that business out-influences politics, religion, education, even our relationships are subject to business. Don't believe me? Okay. Did you know that the average person sees about 5,000 advertisements a day? That's right, 5,000. I see the faces. 5,000 ads a day. And the ads are busy influencing you in everything possible. It tells you who you want to become. It tells you what you want to wear. It tells you how you want to look. It even tells you what you decide to put into your body as food. And you see these ads everywhere, whether it's radio, newspaper, magazine, TV, blog posts, social media. Everywhere you can get information or entertainment, there is business looking to influence you. But you don't even have to be looking for information or entertainment. You can simply be trying to get from point A to point B, driving down the road, and there, in the sky, on the billboard, is business looking to influence you. The insignia on your car, the logo on your shoes, the sign on your bag are all opportunities for business to influence you. Still not sold? Okay. Did you also know that the average person spends a minimum of 90,000 hours of their life at work? That's astonishing. 90,000 hours of our lives spent at business. Here's where it gets interesting. What does business do in those 90,000 hours of our life, right? Well, it tells us when we can get hungry, or what we like to call go to lunch. It tells us when we can take a break. It tells us when we can expand our families. It tells us what size house we can have. It tells us when we can take a vacation and what kind of vacation we can take. It tells us what time we go to sleep at night and what time we wake up in the morning. It even tells us who we spend the majority of our lives connected to. Why? Because they hired the majority of your friends. Business has so much influence over us that we don't even recognize at times. So, what does all of this have to do with breathing life? Well, if business has this much influence over our lives, then business can breathe life into our fully connected yet severely detached society. See, being disconnected is not our issue these days. We're more connected than we've ever been in life. All you have to do is pay attention to your rewards program, or your FaceTime, or text messaging. Even free Prime shipping keeps us closer than we've ever been in our lives. Our world is truly a smaller place. No, the issue isn't that we're disconnected. The issue is we've accepted being simply connected over being in community with each other. See, business can be the way that lifts us from a place of connection to a place of community. So, let's define these words so we know what we're talking about, right? The definition of the word connection is a casual or logical relation or sequence. And that's how we interact with each other, right? Casually and logically, right? We like, we heart, we thumbs up, we emoji, we wave hello, hey, how you doing? Not really looking for the answer, right? We send a quick video, we post a quick picture, we send a text message, and we wait for people to respond to us, casually. The definition of community. Community is a group of people with similar interests or characteristics living together within society. Now, how many of you caught the singular most important word in that definition? It's the word living. See, connection is a casual relationship, but community catches us living together and expressing our lives together. Now, back to business. What if business was breathing that kind of life into our society? What if business encouraged us to experience life together? 5,000 ads a day, 90,000 hours in your lifetime, millions of employees, and business can breathe life into our society. So what's the key? Well, it's quite simple actually, not a new or novel concept. Businesses must have leaders who care, period. Now, as a consultant, I get to work with businesses and leaders all the time. And what we've noticed is that we've geared ourselves to believe that the best person who does the job is the person who should lead the job, right? So if Susie is the best person in the sales department, then Susie, of course, should be leading the sales department as the manager. We've discovered this is not true. Not at all. The best leaders do three things well. The best leaders are not always the person who can get the most out of the employees or the organization. The best leader is often the person who can put the most into the employees or the organization. So the greatest leaders out there, they do three things well. And these three things build what we call a relationship-based culture within the organization. You build this relationship-based culture in the organization, and it trickles out into the people and allows them to do this not only in their own lives, but also in our communities. Doing these three things, this is how businesses breathe life. So what are the three things? Well, number one, join the family. 90,000 hours. That is a lot of time to spend next to people that somebody else said you had to be friends with. 90,000 hours. But think about it. If we took the time to become family with those that we spend those 90,000 hours with, if our leaders had time to really get to know the people that is in their organization or in their department, if our leaders had the opportunity to truly join that family and not just know about the person or about their lives, but really get to know them, then they can develop what we call workplace intimacy. Workplace intimacy allows us to build a family and a community within the organization. This not only leads to higher profits and happier customers, but it also leads to better people and better jobs. I would like you to look to the person next to you, and I would like you to ask them, will you join my family? Oh, it was a little awkward, wasn't it? Did you feel a little vulnerable? I'm sure you did. That leads us to number two. Number two, promote vulnerability. See, when we get the opportunity to share with each other, that's when we can really start to build communities. So we must promote vulnerability. Now, a lot of people see vulnerability as a bad thing or as a weakness, but it's really not. Vulnerability is just the opportunity to know someone better. And so vulnerability is not simply crying your woes away in front of your employees, but vulnerability is allowing yourself to be open, allowing yourself to be wrong, allowing yourself to share an emotion. When we do this inside our workplaces, it builds a I've got their back mentality. What that does is it creates accountability and responsibility across all platforms. And then I'm not going to let you fall, and you're not going to let me fall. And that is breathing life. Number three, leave an experience. Some of the best things that's ever happened in our lives and some of the worst things that have ever happened in our lives have been profound memories with us, right? No matter what it was, it left a profound memory, and it was something that we wouldn't soon forget. We should endeavor to do the same things in our workplaces. Leave an experience. When leaders get an opportunity to leave an experience with their teams, they get people who work there the opportunity to do this. Remember that look? Whenever you start thinking about something that really happened, that time that you were in a competition and you guys won, that time you had that big goal and you overcame it, that time you had that charitable activity and you really made a difference, and somebody asked you about it and it left a profound memory, you did this. And you looked up to find that memory. We should be doing the same thing in our workplaces. We should be sharing an experience together. Ask the person next to you, will you share an experience with me? If they said no, turn to the other person and ask them, will you share an experience with me? Listen, business out-influences everything. Everywhere, every time, no matter what. Business is the catalyst to everything we've established in this country and all over the world. And if we do these three things, we have the opportunity to use business to breathe life into our societies, to create a better oneness among us all. Remember, join the family, promote vulnerability, leave an experience. When these things are done, when businesses use those 5,000 ads a day and those 90,000 hours of our lives to really breathe life, it not only changes our communities, it changes ourselves. Thank you.